Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today for our Path to Burman University Homeschool webinar. We are excited to have you joining us from wherever you are, and we look forward to answering any questions that you might have. Before we get started, I do want to let you know that we are recording this webinar so that those who weren't able to join this evening are able to access the webinar at a later date. And so if you're uncomfortable with your face being on camera and on our website, please feel free to turn your camera off. Any questions that you have, enter them into the chat. They will come to us, and we will make sure to answer those questions at the end. And then we'll also have a question and answer period. So Burman University, we would like to acknowledge that the land that we're located is within hereditary Indigenous land, and we acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 6 territory, established in 1876, the traditional home and meeting ground for many First Nations peoples, including the Blackfoot, Dene, Cree, and Métis. Burman University is committed to doing its part to address the legacy of broken promises and rebuild productive partnership relationships between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples in central Alberta and across Canada. So this evening, we will be covering some topics: program information, admissions requirements, the application process, and then some financial information. We have our admissions officer as well as one of our financial aid officers here to answer your questions and to give you some information based on their specialties.
Hi, my name is Nicole Bartolet, and I'm the admissions officer at Burman University. I'm just going to review some of our program offerings, as well as some admission information that you may need to know coming in as a homeschooler to Burman. So this is just a list of the bachelor's degrees that we do offer here. And I'm just going to take a quick second to review these main bachelor's programs that we have. We've got a Bachelor of Arts degree in behavioral science, which is a combination of psychology, sociology, and social work courses. We have a Bachelor of Science in Biology, both a 3 and a 4-year program. The 4-year program has both a biomedical track as well as an environmental science track. We have a Bachelor of Business Administration, as well as a 3-year Bachelor of Arts in Business. The Bachelor of Business Administration has 4 specific tracks in accounting, management, human resource management, and international business. Education has degrees in both elementary and secondary education. Under the umbrella of secondary education, there are specializations in biology, English, math, music, religious studies, and social studies. For the Bachelor of Education, we also offer an after degree. So for those students who already hold a degree in one other subject area, but are now interested in pivoting to become teachers, you can do a 2-year accelerated after degree, which just focuses on the education courses to get you into the classroom sooner. We also have general arts and general science courses. These are great for students maybe who don't know 100% exactly what field they want to go into and can customize their degree with classes that are most interesting to them. Our Bachelor of Arts in International Studies has 2 tracks in global affairs as well as global health. Our music degree is both a Bachelor of Arts, but we also have a Bachelor of Music. Under the umbrella of the Bachelor of Arts, though, you could also do a biomedical specialization as well as a music therapy specialization. So there are a couple of different track options there to couple your music degree with other subjects. The Bachelor of Science in Psychology is both a 3 and a 4-year program. Our Religious Studies program is also both a 3 and a 4-year program, and the 4-year program has tracks in pre-professional as well as youth leadership. And our Wellness program, which is a Bachelor of Science Allied Health program, has both a 3 and a 4-year program. Along with our bachelor's degrees, we also offer a few certificate and diploma programs. The Certificate in Health Sciences is a 3-semester certificate program designed for students interested in transferring to Kettering College in Dayton, Ohio for nursing. It's a direct transfer and guaranteed admission as long as students meet the minimum GPA requirements. So it's a great way to springboard into nursing and taking all your generals here first before moving to the States. We also offer certificates and diplomas in the School of Business. These programs do nest into one another, so you can start with a certificate, and if after 1 year you decide maybe I want to go on to the diploma, you can. And if after the diploma program you want to take the full 4 year, it does nest nicely into the 4 year management track. We also offer 3 online certificate programs in early learning and childcare, humanitarian service work, and holistic care for newcomers to Canada. So to get into school, the typical admission requirements are high school completion, 5 grade 12 level courses. So if you're in Alberta, those are your 30-1 courses. 4 of the 5 courses need to be academic courses, which mean English, social studies, science, math, as well as second languages and fine arts. English 30-1 is required for all of our degree programs. Now, for students coming to Burman from an unaccredited homeschool program, you will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. So what you'll need to do is submit copies of your parent transcripts, and if they have an educational portfolio put together that outline what texts have been covered and what content has been covered as part of your high school education, we look at all of that information to determine eligibility for admission. You'll also need to submit a short writing sample, which will be used for English placement purposes. And depending on what you've taken and what program you're looking at taking, you might be limited to a reduced course load, but all of these factors are looked at, including things like what program you're going into, as if you've met the prerequisite requirements. So some programs, such as biology, require background in biology, chemistry, and pre-calculus math. So there are a lot of very specific prerequisites for those programs, whereas other programs like, say, music, only have English as a requirement as well as an audition portion. And so there's a little more flexibility with some programs versus others. So we take everything into account, and we try to make sure that we set you up for success the best we can, if we're offering you admission coming from an unaccredited homeschool program. We do recognize that students coming from a homeschool program are typically very self-motivated and are often very, very good about self-directed learning, and we value that and we appreciate that. So we do our best to try to get you in as best we can, regardless of your educational background, as long as everything hopefully fits in with the prerequisite requirements, so that it's not too much of a leap from high school to university. The application process is super simple and straightforward. Submit an application. The application information is found on our website at burmanu.ca/apply. If you're coming from Alberta, you can use the joint application, the Apply Alberta system. But if you're coming from outside of Alberta, you can submit an application just through our website, and then you'll send in a copy of your transcripts. Again, if you are coming from Alberta, the transcripts will come in directly from the Apply Alberta system. If you have a homeschool transcript, you can just email that into our admissions office. If you are an international student, you will also need to submit a copy of proof of citizenship and potentially English proficiency exam scores. But the application process is mostly just 2 steps, so it's super simple, and it'll take 5 minutes to complete.
Hello, my name is Charlie Whitworth. I'm a financial aid officer at Burman University, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the financial journey you'll be on in order to come to Burman. So for the first year, or for 1 year rather, at Burman University, if you're in the dorm, it's going to cost around $25,000. If you're not in the dorm, it's going to be $17,600. That's for a full-time student. So that's 10 classes a year or 30 credits. And we do charge per credit. So that's $544 a credit times 30 gives you that $16,320 for tuition. If you take less classes, obviously it costs less, but it will take longer to finish your schooling. We also have some mandatory fees. They are helping Burman University to provide our students with all sorts of services, whether it's printing or internet or our Success Center, which does all sorts of counseling and even massages sometimes. It's quite a boon to our students. Um, Next slide, please. So Burman University, again, just our tuition is that around that $16,000 mark. And if you do compare it to a few other universities, it's in some cases it's higher, in some cases it's lower. UBC for that first year, depending on the program that you're in, is between that $6,000 to $10,000 mark. That said, that's just that first year. A lot of their programs will increase year over year, where for us, that $16,000 mark is about the same for every year. It does go up a little bit here and there, but at the same time, it's also the same for every program. So no matter what program you're looking at, that'll be the mark. So if you are looking to compare costs with other universities, I do highly recommend that you make sure you specify which program you're looking at to figure out that exact cost. I would also like to point out the cost for Walla Walla is also, again, just an estimate, and that's in Canadian dollars, not US dollars. But again, if you're wanting an Adventist education in North America, Burman is probably going to be your most economical way to do it. Where things start to look a little better is for housing and food. Because we're in central Alberta and real estate's a little more affordable, Burman's able to offer a highly competitive rate in regards to our dorms and our cafeteria. Again, if you're looking at other universities, it's going to be significantly higher, especially in higher cost of living areas, such as the Lower Mainland for BC, or again in Toronto, where again those are just their first year numbers. In many of those places, if you're not able to get into student housing after your first year, you're going to be looking for market rent rates, and those are going to be significantly more than the numbers you see here. So if you wanting to come to Burman, again, the housing is certainly more affordable than many other options. That said, again, that $25,000 mark, it's not a small number, but Burman is very generous with our scholarships. Last year, we averaged $4,300 in scholarships to our freshmen. And again, that's just an average. Some got lots more even. So it's certainly possible to reduce that number significantly. Burman values well-rounded students and students who are not just good at academics, but good at all sorts of things. So we offer scholarships for athletics and music, and citizenship and character and all sorts of other things. There's literally too many to list in this video and at this presentation. So I highly encourage you to look at our website or to reach out to us and just to see what's available. And again, you can't get a scholarship if you don't apply. So one example, just again, this is about an average example, is if you wanted to become a teacher, again, that cost is around that $25,000 mark. And listed on the screen is just a number of scholarships. These are all very attainable. And it brings that cost down significantly. So again, something like the music scholarship, right? It requires participation in one of our programs, such as choir or orchestra or band, but it's just an addition away, and many of our students participate and not only get a scholarship for it, but also are able to learn a lot and enrich themselves. And that's just one example. So in regards to our homeschool programs and our, excuse me, and our academic scholarships, if you are in an accredited homeschool program, you will be eligible for our regular academic scholarships based on the 5 admission courses. If you are not in an accredited program, that first year you will not be eligible for the academic scholarships. That said, after completing your Burman, you would be eligible for more after we've seen just exactly your academic ability, and we certainly like to award that. As well, we also have an awards day yearly. And this year we're giving out around $250,000 in the first year alone. Not for sure, on that day alone. And that's just from our donors and our generous alumni. And lastly, I just encourage whether you're going to Burman or whether you're going somewhere else, look into scholarships. Do your best to apply for all of them. I know some of them do require papers and a bit of time, but Usually the return is well worth it. So on the screen, there's a couple QR codes. If you're not comfortable with those, certainly just look on our website as well. And feel free to contact us by email or phone or any other way, and we'd be happy to help you learn more about the costs of Burman for your specific situation, as well as the ways that you can help reduce that cost through scholarships and other means like student loans.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Charlie and Nicole, for the information that you've been able to share with our attendees this evening and the people that will watch this webinar afterwards. We're now in our question and answer period. I didn't see any questions come through as we were going through the presentation, so I'll hold for a minute, give a chance for you to put your questions in the chat. Again, they'll come to me as the host, and I will make sure to ask those questions so that you can get your answers. If you don't have an opportunity or you can't think of any questions right now, both Nicole and Charlie are always willing to help out, answer questions. And at the end of this presentation, we do have the contact information for the enrollment advisors that work in our marketing office, broken down by territory. So depending on where you're coming from, you know who you can talk to, and we'll make sure to get you the information or get you in touch with the people that can give you the information. So I'm not seeing any questions come through the chat at the moment, so I won't hold you too much longer. I do want to encourage you to connect with us through our social media. So we do have Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you're interested in seeing what our campus is like, the different activities that we have, I know we have our Student Association banquet coming up soon. Connect with us on these social media platforms and see what campus is like, see from a student's perspective what a day in the life of a student is. We would love to connect with you and any parents that are watching. If your students do end up coming and studying at Burman, this is a way for you to keep in touch and keep up to date with what it is that they're doing and how they're able to get involved as well. So as I said, the marketing team, the people that are behind this webinar, we have myself, Christina Lister, and my territory is Alberta Public Schools, and as well as transfer students that are coming from Canada and the US. We have Tyler Saunders, who works with students that come from Eastern Canada and the Eastern United States. And then we have Mario Parchment, who works with students from Western Canada, the Western United States, as well as our international students. So if you do have any questions that come up after this webinar, please feel free to reach out to your enrollment advisor, and they'll be able to answer those questions, or like I said, put you in touch with the people that can get those answers to you. So thank you again for joining us this evening and for watching this webinar after, as it's on our website. We look forward to connecting with you, and we hope to see you on campus soon. Thank you so much.